I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Last episode of 2021, Oops the Podcast.
Here we are.
Welcome back. Hope you guys have some fun New Year's plans coming up, New Year's Eve plans, resolutions, all that shit. I'm Julio. He is Francis. We are Oops the Podcast. Good to be here with you for our final episode of the year. Francis was popping.
Feeling cozy.
Cozy,
Got
baby.
my Christmassy flansky on. You know, in the last 2 or 3 years, maybe 2 years, 3 years, my wardrobe has really come into focus, I would say.
What do you mean? You've
I've determined my look.
Okay. That's
you know?
nice. I wish I could say
Woodsman
the same.
chic is that's my look. That's my go-to. You've got a look. You're like the kind of...
I'm working on my look.
You're like I would say like you're a New York meets LA.
Okay. I'll take that.
Sort of streetwear, New York meets LA. How would you characterize? I think Chris
fair,
probably
yes.
has a good sense of how to characterize your look. G.
I just got to refine.
I don't know. Just Julio, dude.
Just Julio, dude.
You do have a distinctive look.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm working on it, dude. I'm working on it.
How would you describe
I
your
have no
look?
fucking idea.
Do you think me calling myself woodsman chic is right?
I would agree, yeah. You have
Flannels and boots.
fitted, but like fitted more like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going with the...
Definitely
I'm
woodsman
going
chic.
with the slim fit
Woodsman chic is funny, dude.
This is not burly, woodsman. Not the burly woodsman. All right, well.
Dude, at the top of the episode, I would like to say, we here at Who's the Podcast, and this is me going rogue, but go get your booster, go get your vaccine. This bullshit about freedom, like not getting a vaccine being freedom, is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. You don't have the freedom to make other people sick. That's called anarchy.
Yeah.
You have the freedom to do whatever you want. You don't have the freedom to harm other people. Just go get a vaccine. You're going to get really fucking sick.
I can just say that my side of it is, if you're not getting the vaccine, you're not helping yourself.
Yeah, that
You're
too.
not winning. That's not like some... I can say that from personal experience, and anyone that might say, well, all these cases are breakthrough cases, what's the point of getting the vaccine? Everyone I know who got sick, there was a very clear difference between the people who got COVID who had their booster versus who had not. I don't actually know anybody at this point who doesn't have the vaccine who's gotten sick.
Yeah, no,
God
true.
help-
And everybody,
God help those
I know.
people.
And everybody, it worked like it was supposed to. People didn't get that sick. They got sick and it sucked, but they weren't in the hospital.
The people I know who had their boosters versus who didn't had the difference was stark.
Yeah.
If you had people who had their boosters and got sick were sick for like a fucking day.
Crazy.
And very mild cold. I got sick. I did not have my booster. I was just vaccinated, but it had clearly worn off.
Right.
I was outside of 6 months since my vaccine. I was very sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wished so badly that I had gotten my booster.
Right. And imagine if you hadn't gotten any at all. Who knows? God forbid.
I'd be dead.
Who knows?
I might be
And
dead.
I think in New York City, if you go to like one of the New York City sites right now, they're giving you $100 to get the booster.
Really?
Is that right?
Yeah.
See, that's a bunch of bullshit.
fire.
Because I just got my booster whenever, 2
They give
weeks
you
ago.
$100?
Now, no.
How
now
the fuck
it's
do you
new
redeem
now.
that $100? They don't give you cash, right?
I don't know.
Is it like some
But
Nathan
you have
for
to
you
go to
thing?
like the...
They make you do an obstacle course. We were just talking about that before.
What a great show.
You have to go to the New
So
York
good.
City sites, I think, for that.
Okay.
Amazing.
Cool. Interesting.
I want to give you an update on something that we talked about last year, which is couples Christmas cards.
Ooh, very nice. Did you guys do one?
We have not, but I'm trying to convince Sierra for a new idea that I have this year. If you recall, she was not excited about the idea I pitched last year.
Your idea last year, I remember it being like pretty vulgar.
Yeah, the idea was that I was going to be wearing a ball gag and sort of like assless leather chaps, BDSM attire, bending over with her behind me and a big floppy strap on. And the idea being like, the caption being like, hope your Christmas or your holidays are as progressive as ours.
That's funny.
You know, being that like
I like
I'm the
that.
guy who takes it in our relationship. I'm the bottom.
Dude, what if you dress up as Sierra and Sierra dresses up as you, and you go like really hardcore with it?
Does she have enough of a sort of an identity look that people would get what I was going? You're just saying like a blonde wig, maybe?
Wig, and just like wear like whatever she would normally wear, and she'll wear some woodsman chic, and you'll do like a head cap on her with like like you have to hire like a professional makeup artist to make this work. I think. I don't know, whatever.
No, I like that.
It's pretty funny.
A little bit of like a really professional Facetune, full face swap kind of thing.
Right, and you could send that to like your parents' address book and have them and feel comfortable with it, as opposed to the dildo bit.
This was my idea that I pitched her this year. I said I would love for us to go to like a mall photographer and get done up in the most ridiculously sort of tacky, you know, I was thinking like mystical beings that you might get sprayed painted onto a, you know, like a t-shirt or a mug.
That's very funny.
I was thinking like she's a mermaid and I'm a centaur. Emerging
that's
from
great.
the mists, meeting on land and sea, and then, you know, saying something like "Have a magical holiday." You know, really seriously buying into the bit with our facial expressions.
I like it, dude.
Just
I
like a total mean mugging the camera as these, you know,
I like it, bro.
mythological creatures. Something like that. Poseidon, you know. I don't know what it would be, but I think that would be kind of funny. Do you know what I'm talking?
Yeah.
Airbrush.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. You should do it. You should do it, man.
Well, your bit's not your bad. Your ideas is not bad either. She was warmer to that idea than the ball gag idea last year. So we're making progress, I have to say.
Yeah, I did. You could also just do. Yeah, I mean, you could really have fun with it, man. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it next year if you guys actually do it.
A very good friend of mine, we were talking about holiday cards, and you know, he was saying that when you get to a certain age and families have kids and they send out in their holiday cards these update
Mm-hmm.
blurbs. Like this year, you know, Keenan did his second stint. He's up to his brown belt in Taekwondo, and meanwhile, Leslie, you know, finished her second semester at the island school, and she's got her scuba license, and like,
Dude.
he hates that.
Terrible.
I love it.
Dude, why?
I love that.
Why? What do you
Because
love
I
about
like
that?
reading updates on people's lives. And look, is it a brag typically? Yes, I get that. But every once in a while, you'll get like a parent that's like, you know, so-and-so finished their third round of chemo and is in remission.
Well, that's nice,
And you're
though.
like,
That's great.
fuck yeah.
Okay, that's good, but
Fuck
like,
yeah.
no one cares that you paid for your son to go to Ecuador against his will to fucking do whatever he's doing.
Yeah,
down
but
there.
it's sometimes
not impressive.
Yes, you get that stack. Look,
Fuck
I don't
that
get
shit.
I get whatever 2 or 3 holiday cards a year, but I'm hoping that as I get older, my parents, they get 100 Christmas
Yeah,
cards. And among those, I go through the whole stack at Christmas when we're home, and it's I'm like, who are these fucking people? I don't know most of them. But first of all, a lot of the time you can be like, damn, that family has some hot kids. It's nice to be like, those kids, I'm not talking children, 24, 25-year-olds. Like, those kids grew up to be hot.
Nice.
Good. Let me take this into my bedroom. Like, you know what I mean? Don't mind if I do. This is coming back sticky. That's the first thing. The second thing is reading, you know, yeah, you do get a bunch of these self-important back patting. It's all just a bragging contest, and I get that.
They're terrible, dude.
But sometimes you hear some super cool shit. Like, so-and-so was just admitted to Stanford. I'm like, hell yeah.
I don't give a fuck
That's
about that, dude.
dope. good for that kid. I thought your family was stupid.
Dude, fuck that.
I was wrong. I didn't know. I don't even know these people, but like, wow.
Dude,
Stanford,
I
really
hate
amazing.
that. I hate everything about this.
I love it.
I like this though. I like these fundamental differences that we have.
I think it's cool. Look, when I have kids, I hope that I can be like, Jack is 6'8", dunking flat-footed for the first time, and our daughter is fluent in sign language this year and saved a raccoon from a barbed wire fence. Like, I'm gonna say that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'll try to make it funny.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be bragging about my kids. That's for sure.
Yeah, dude. I don't
We
know.
found a deer on the side of the road and put it out of its misery with a headlock that we'd learned about. And then we harvested
That's the picture too. You just hit the deer in a headlock.
harvested the back straps and we're curing it with salt in case, you know, the apocalypse comes. That's our holiday this year as a family. I don't know. I think it'd be fun.
Dude, I mean that's certainly funny, but like I like the house I used to live in uptown, they would get 1 million Christmas cards too, and we would like rank the 3 worst ones every year. And there was always one in the top 3 where it's like a family on the beach and they're all wearing like linen.
Yeah,
and like
sure.
And there's that thing where like the dad is sitting with like his one leg flat on the ground, the other knee in the air, and there's like a fucking golden retriever in it.
And they've
it's
got
just
their
like,
hands on his shoulder.
right, and the dad's like much older, and like the wife's like younger and hotter. You're like, this family sucks, dude. This
Fine.
sucks.
But I think satirizing that would be a very funny Christmas card.
No, for sure, dude. 1,000,000% agreed.
Yeah.
Of course, that and which I see that that's your goal, and I think you're gonna knock it out of the park. And dude, listen, I'm not saying sending Christmas cards is bad. It's great, of course, whatever, do it.
What if
some
you
of them
did
are
like
so bad. Dude.
I agree. What if you did that card, right? Everyone's wearing linen.
It's funny.
And it's like whatever, but you're doing like a human triangle, you know? You know, like the tower where it's like 3 on the bottom and then but then the person who's on the bottom, their face is like beet red.
Dude, it's
They're
great.
sweating. You could sense that they're really uncomfortable. They're shaking. Like, thanks for being the foundation of the family, Dad.
Yeah.
You know, at 67, he's still holding strong. Meanwhile, he's like about to have an aneurysm.
Dude, listen, I think that's hilarious. Sometimes I worry about a joke like that. I hate the idea of sending out a Christmas card that some people aren't going to get. Like if it's all going to my direct friends, I'm cool with that. But if not, like I've like made bad jokes before with that, with like holiday cards and shit. And then I was like, I fucked that up.
But don't you think that one of the benefits of what we do for a living is that everyone's going to assume we're
being
trying
funny.
to be funny?
That's true. That is true.
Most people that, especially
Agreed.
anyone you
Agreed.
send your Christmas card to, should be someone who's like, yeah, I know Julio's a comedian.
Right. That's true. You're right. You're right.
But dude, I say that my favorite bits that I've ever done are the ones where half the people are like, this is funny, and then the other half are like, is this fucking real?
Right,
Like
right.
when that line,
I know.
that
I know.
like uncertain land of not knowing if you're joking or not. That is my favorite place
Yeah.
to be in.
That's your sweet spot.
My favorite place to be in comedically.
You love that.
Yeah,
That's
getting
great.
nervous laughs. Those are my favorite laughs.
Dude, well, to your point before about the sort of updating on what they've been doing and stuff, I really hate like accomplishment culture for kids. I think it's like bad because like, what if your kid hasn't done anything? Like I hate being at these like lunches with people and I'm hearing about all the shit their fucking stupid kids been up to. Like, I don't care, dude. Like this, I hate the idea that the parent is trying to prove themselves through their kid. Like there's too much of like a gray area of that. And I just feel bad for the kid who has nothing to fucking brag about, especially because half the time this is bullshit things that the parents made the kid do. Oh, this summer it's almost like a status,
Okay,
proof of status.
fair.
We
fine.
paid for him to do this.
If that's the case, then and families should be sensitive to that. I don't have any problem with updates on what the mom and the dad are up to. I don't leave the kids out of it. You know,
But that
what I
never
mean?
happens. If there's a kid involved, you're only getting the kid.
I think I've read Christmas cards where
Full
it was
updates?
like the father had just summited Mount Rainier or something like that, and then the mom was doing fundraising for finished an amazing capital campaign for some nonprofit, and everyone like that's cool.
I guess that's
I'm down,
agreed,
I'm down to hear
agreed,
that.
agreed.
And then the kids are like in the picture scowling that the son has black painted fingernails, and you're like, yeah, we get it. The kids didn't do shit this year. There's nothing to update us. Nobody's proud of them. It was an off year. They took the year off. We're not even including them in the blurb. It's mom and dad, carrying the load once again. That's good. I get that, and I'm thrilled for that. We can all read between the lines. I'd love to get that card where it's like, yeah, you saying a lot by not saying anything.
Right.
We're not proud of our children this year. Hopefully next year they'll pick up the mantle. They'll carry the family crest forward into battle on a banner, and they'll find out, they found their calling, whatever it is. Now son's an EMT now. He's in EMT training. We're proud of him. Finally. Last year, not good. But this year he's really turned it around.
Do you think you're going to be annoying about your kids' stuff or not?
I think that I will always try to be funny.
But like, okay, say if your kids are doing stuff, when you say be funny, how would you even do that without like shitting, like making fun of your kids?
My kids, unfortunately, are, without even knowing it, just by being born, they're signing up for a life of being part of my act. They're part of the show.
Yeah.
We as a family, we are a show. We're a traveling circus. And they can either buy in and like be part of the writing sessions or just unfortunately
there's no opt-out
whatever
clause.
they give me, I'm gonna make gold out of it. That's the life that we are in together. And so my thought is that I'm gonna make it funny without embarrassing them too much. But they better have thick skin, and I'm going to raise them to have thick skin.
It's good. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah. And so if they don't have anything that they're proud of that they want to like put into the ring for me to lampoon and like humble brag, but in a funny way about them, then I'm going to make shit up. Like Todd, is building a homemade rocket, which he plans to take to Mars. He used up all the aluminum foil, and I'll be honest with you, it does not look good. There's no science here. He got a B in chemistry. Like the odds of this working very slim, but we're behind him. Well done, Todd. We wish you well. We'll pack you some snacks for the 7,000-year journey.
You'll get there someday.
Yeah. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like we'll make something, we'll just make it up or take something that he's done and really and pretend like we're really proud of that minor achievement. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to know how you're going to be until you're there,
Exactly. I have plans now.
Yeah.
And then it could be, that my kid is fucking suicidal, and it's like, okay, we don't want to push him over the edge by
making fun of him.
By making fun of his home soldering kit that he's been playing around with. He's gotten into welding this year, and we're really proud of him. He managed to fuse the back fender of the car to the microwave, and we can't drive it for a while. He's effectively holding us ransom, but at least he did it. He did something. So he's out there with his mask. Good for you, Mark.
Oh man, dude.
Never
Mark and Todd Ellis.
That welding kit.
Mark and Todd Ellis. I love it.
They're not. Those won't be their names. Those won't be their names. God, I struggle when I think about what I'm going to name my kids.
Yeah,
because I don't want it to be basic, but I also, I don't want them to be mocked mercilessly. For
I
having
feel
these
you.
Preposterous names.
I want my parents to like their names too. I don't want my parents to like think, and they're like picky about names randomly.
Interesting.
I hate the idea of my parents talking shit about my kid being like, I hate that name.
Do you think you're going to give your kids fundamentally Italian names? Or some sort of cultural nod?
Not necessarily.
Because you and your brother have very Italian names.
No, totally. Dude, my grandmother wanted to name me Ubaldo, dude.
Ubaldo?
Ubaldo.
Is that an Italian name? Is that a traditional name?
I don't know. Like it's like a deep cut name. Ubaldo, dude. Can you imagine if my name was Ubaldo? Jesus. All right, but anyway, I don't intend to necessarily. I'm open to whatever. And I think that at the end of the fucking day, I'd like to name them something that I thought was funny, like William. You know that I enjoy William.
You've said that before.
Yeah.
I do like that. I like
I
that.
like pronouncing it like that. I like the name John.
John?
Yeah.
Okay.
John. And I also like the name Robert.
Yeah.
You
Good.
know, those are like my three favorite. Maybe my
Those
three
are
favorite.
some pretty down the middle white bread boy names. William, Robert, and John.
Those are my three favorites. But like just to say, maybe not necessarily to name someone. They're good names, you know.
Yeah. I love the idea that, like, you know, of those
John.
three boys, like, you know, you guys singing in the four of you singing a barbershop quartet. And your Christmas card, like everything's going right as it should be. They're 30, 28, and 26. Everything's down the middle, but for some reason, John, the youngest, was just a total fuck up. It's like, yeah, William just finished his 4th year of medical school and looks like he's planning to do his residency at Georgetown. Robert is actually a lawyer. Aren't we proud? And unfortunately, John's a terrorist. Was responsible for stealing that hot dog cart in Times Square, and we're sorry for what he did.
Oh,
but we don't
John.
blame ourselves. Everyone else does.
Oh, John.
Yeah,
Dude.
John.
I-
Renegade.
I just like the idea of seeing my son John sitting on the couch, just looking at him, going, John.
and that's what you'll tell him about how you chose his name. And I don't think he'll find it as funny as you do.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm worried about something that amuses me as the name. I'll let their mother pick the name, dude. To be
Fair
honest,
enough.
You know,
I feel like you're gonna call him John no matter what. Anyway,
that might be true.
no matter what you name him, it doesn't matter.
he could end up just becoming John, dude. I don't fucking know, bro. Okay, so I know we talk about a lot of plane shit. Question. So my dad pulled a fucking move and a half on our flight.
Ooh, baby.
It didn't end up mattering because there was not really anybody on the flight. But I was 21C and he was 21D. Okay, so we're both aisle seats. And we were assigned our seats. So we get to the row, and 21C, which was my row, had no one in it. And 21D had 2 people in it. And he goes, I'll take 21C.
Your ticket.
He said, I'll take 21C.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Are you serious? Like, you can't do that.
I mean, he can't.
That's the thing. I guess he can, but it's a dick move, dude. We were assigned our seats. This is the game we've signed up for.
Yeah, but what about,
I know.
my father, the patriarchy, respect him,
I realized that in the middle of, once I started, I was like, you're going to pull that move. I said that. And then I was like, I'll remember next time when I make our seats to make sure we're not in the same row so that this doesn't happen again.
Why?
And then people overheard that. And then I felt ashamed immediately. And I was like, okay, fine. He's the father. He gets to choose. Fine. Congratulations. Pull the father card because that move would never fucking fly in any other situation. And then there was nobody on the plane. So we moved around anyway.
I was going to say, why didn't he just come to the window of your side?
There also ended up being people in that row immediately. He goes, they're going to end up being people here anyway, Julio.
They filled yours.
And then they ended up showing up and they went, you're right. And that's when I realized people were listening. And then I was like, I concede.
But you didn't switch because at that point there was no point. If your row filled
No,
in.
we had switched.
Oh, you had?
We had switched before my original row.
So
filled
it
in.
became a moot point.
It became a
in the end.
moot point.
Yeah.
But it was a fucking move and a half to just decide, to make a decision like that, dude.
I like that. I
It's
like
a
that
move-
from your
It's
dad.
a dad move and a half.
You know something? Unfortunately, my dad actually does the opposite. And here's an example. If we're getting into the car as a family and I'm sort of the last person out of the house and they're already in the car waiting, my dad will be sitting in the back.
Wow. Are you serious?
And it bothers me.
Yeah.
Because I'm 5 or 6 inches taller than my dad. So he's got
fair.
long legs. You take the front. Yeah, but I'm comfortable in the back.
Yeah.
We don't have a Volkswagen Beetle. We
No,
have a
totally.
nice car. It's big. It's got plenty of leg room. I'm comfortable. We're only driving 15 minutes
Right.
to the restaurant or the
That's
golf
nice.
course,
That's
whatever
nice.
it is. I'm like, Dad, I don't like the look of me sitting in the front. People are going to see this and just think that I'm this asshole.
Yeah,
kid.
agreed.
And not only that, but
fear
you
that.
deserve the front. Sit up front. What are you doing? And he's so quick to put his family first, which, brings a tear to my eye. But
very nice.
I also, sometimes it gets me in trouble because a lot of the time what'll happen is like if we're home, we have a family dinner. You know, I clear all the plates, I go into the kitchen, I start doing the dishes. And my dad comes in and he goes, stop, I'll do this. I got this. Go out there, whatever. And my mom comes in and hears him saying that. Then she blames me.
Oh, right.
She's like,
you're going to let your father.
Yeah, she thinks that I coerced him into saying that. I'm like, Dad, you're just getting me in trouble. Stop putting the family like first. Let us.
No good deed goes
got it.
unpunished.
Like you have to let me get credit from Mom for doing the dishes, or else I get in trouble, and I don't want to deal with that.
Dude, I definitely feel you, and I agree that like even like my mom's small, and she'll tell me like sit in the front, and I'm like, I know that you get car sick, like I don't mind sitting in the back. I'll sit in the back.
Yeah.
You're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree, dude. Very deferential to my parents. I'm very respectful. I sometimes worry that if I'm ragging on my dad, sometimes in the pod, it's going to come off as me shitting on him, which I'm not doing. He really is. He's controversial. He shows up and he starts making requests. Dude, he's controversial. He'll come, he goes, what if we, I'm like, Dad, please, can't we just do it the way it is? Why do we have to change things? He goes, what if I'm like, no, there's a way that this works. Can we not make noise?
I think you get to a point where you've lived long enough and you've seen things done a certain way. You're no longer interested in software updates to your system. You're no longer interested in the new iOS. You know,
Right.
At a certain point, you just say, I don't care if there's a latest, greatest way to do this.
10.1 is my final
I
update.
am done. I'm done downloading information. I'm done changing my ways. This is the way it is. It works. I'm happy. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, I will say this. I'll give my dad some props here. He is not. It's true. It's true.
It's funny because you keep going up and down.
I know.
You're like,
I know.
I sometimes I say mean things.
I'm
but
not. They're not.
He
mean.
is just such a nightmare.
He's-
I will say this in his defense. You
Dude,
know.
he's controversial both times. Dude, okay. He finally gets to the gate. He gets to the gate 14 minutes before the plane takes off, puts his stuff down, and disappears. And I don't know where he is. And I'm like, are you serious? Like you're here and then on the way back, he's missing again. And they're all calling us to the gate to check our attestation for him. And he was doing Tai Chi, dude.
Was he?
He went to a little corner to do Tai Chi, and I couldn't find him. So I was like, he's doing Tai Chi. I don't know where he is. He'll be here. I promise.
Does he do that before every flight?
No, he started doing Tai Chi. Him and my mom on Fridays, they do Tai Chi together.
Love that.
Which is great.
Is he good at it?
I guess he's getting good at it. I don't really know, but
Is that something you get good at?
I don't know.
I would imagine.
It must
I
be.
imagine there's like a levels to that.
An inner and outer Tai Chi.
Yeah.
100%. But one thing I respect about my dad is that he's not a braggart. So he'll be doing impressive things and he'll never tell you, or he'll be able to do impressive things and he'll never tell you. The guy speaks incredible Spanish. I had no idea.
What?
I had no idea. Literally no idea. I was like, how do you speak Spanish so well? He goes, well, Julio, it's similar to Italian. And I took it for 2 years in high school. I'm like, that's it? That's incredible. You should be really, very, very, very good at it.
Amazing.
Not like one of these guys who's like, lo siento. He's not like one, he like speaks it for real. And I was like, you're just never going to tell me you speak Spanish.
Super cool.
Julio. I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people that have skills like that and don't tell people
It's
about
awesome.
them, I don't understand that.
It's the
I
biggest
can't
flex
relate
in
to
the
that.
world.
I can't relate to being really good at something and not having everybody I know about it because I've either shown them or told them. I'm sorry. I'm very open about my accomplishments and my skills. People know my resume.
Well, dude, I had a moment where I got to show one of my skills and my dad accidentally sort of put out the flame. A song comes on that I love, a Spanish song. I start kind of singing along again to it. One of the people who works at the hotel thought that was hilarious because she's like, you don't know what you're saying and you can do it? I'm like, yeah. She's like, can I take a video of you doing it? And I go, sure. I'm like, this is my moment. So she literally starts the video over, starts recording me. And as I go into it, my dad just comes over my shoulders, puts his hands on my shoulders and starts going, yeah, man, yeah. Through the entire 10 seconds, and then she didn't ask to take the video again. So he completely ruined my one chance to shine. And I couldn't be like, no, let's run it back. You know what I mean? Because So it's like, fucking A, dude. But whatever.
You had a story up where you said just like home, and you were at the hotel bar, and it was like you said you were watching Spanish music videos on the TV, but you said it was like 4 a.m. Was it actually 4 a.m.?
No. But I just meant that because that's what I do at 4 a.m.
I see. I was gonna say okay.
No,
good,
it was a normal time.
Okay, good.
Does this happen to you? I find that on vacation, particularly a warm, relaxing vacation, I'm very able to just go to bed early.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because there's like no anxiety.
I think it's that, and it's also you don't want to be sleeping till 11 a.m.
True, but I never want to be sleeping till 11 a.m. And not that I even do, but sometimes I can't help but fall asleep at 3 a.m. in the city. Some nights. You know what I mean? I just can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I'll still wake up at 9 or 10 or whatever. But
Well, usually you're doing shit all day, so you're naturally more tired when you're away on vacation.
Yeah, and the sun makes you
sun,
tired.
yeah, that's true.
Have a couple cocktails, game over.
And it's nice to be able to, like look at your life in a way. Because sometimes like some of these trips that I take, especially if I'm like filming, I don't really have time to like think and chill. But it is nice to like have that vacation time where you can kind of like look at your life, and it's kind of like very doable to make a good game plan that's easy to actually execute.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's
agreed.
a nice feeling.
Well, I will say that the picture of you and your dad shirtless, you looked pretty good.
You like that? Thanks,
I thought you should be proud of how
Thank
you looked.
I appreciate it.
Because I haven't seen you ever post a shirtless pic before.
Oh, nice.
And that was a very funny picture of your dad.
We're both covered in mud, dude.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, we went to the hot springs. The mud was definitely like hiding my true form, probably. But
No,
I do.
you
I
could
do
almost
appreciate
say, "Ooh, Julio's got some abs there."
Nah, dude, I definitely don't. But that's very sweet. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you. I'm getting uncomfortable. I now understand when I start carrying on about Francis's body. How it feels. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Nope, that's okay.
But dude, I'll tell you what, we're looking fucking very sexy and good in a pair of bird dog shorts.
Bird dog shorts. What a pair of shorts to bring on your father-son Costa Rica vacation.
Dude, it's a great thing. So we went to this place, Rincon de la Vieja, which is this volcano thing that has a bunch of other shit around or whatever. So we like went on a little hike, and I was able to hike, then go swimming in a waterfall, and then go to a hot spring, and all in the same clothes.
Unbelievable.
Bird dogs,
It's the
dude.
Swiss Army knife of clothing.
The Swiss Army knife of clothing. They have great joggers. They have great pants, and they have great shorts.
Yeah.
And they're passable in all occasions. There's an item for literally every single occasion.
Best
and
pants
they have
for-
multifunction.
I wear them for flying all the time. It's just the most comfortable pant. Birddogs.com, promo code OOPS will get you some bird dogs and some kind of a gift. I think it's
kind
the
of cool
whistling
gift.
football. We're not entirely sure. Get it now. Get it today. Birddogs.com, promo code OOPS.
We don't know for sure. That is for sure. Dude, I have a question. So we were looking at the ants. So there's actually one point where my dad was filming the ground when the entire group was ahead of us. And it was kind of like a funny shot. Like, what the fuck is he looking at? And then someone's like, can you post his camera roll? So I started getting some pictures, and I noticed he was actually filming ants, and it was actually fascinating. Now, one thing that we noticed when we went back and looked at it, or maybe we looked at it later, but you could actually see the queen.
Really?
And she was much bigger than the rest of the ants.
Yeah.
And I asked the question, and he might have gotten lost in translation, but I was like, what would happen if I just stepped on the queen? Not that I ever would, but like, what would happen? Like, is there an heir to the throne? Like, are there other physically big ants? Or is they're just this power vacuum and anarchy because there is no heir?
I like the idea that she's just a huge bitch that has been secretly like
Dude,
offing.
look how big that fucking thing
Oh my
is.
God.
It's physically bigger.
And that you step on the queen, and all of a sudden, all the other ants that are like carrying bales of hay and crops drop them and look up to you and start cheering, like, "Thank you! You liberated us! You can finally feed my family. We've been donating all of our crops to the state. My kids are starving. My daughter's hair is falling out from malnutrition."
We know the food's there.
Yeah. You've
Dude.
liberated us.
That's great. And now you're just the king of the ants.
Yeah, all of a sudden they like invite you in, and they think there's going to be this wonderful power change and good ways, but so all of a sudden you start drinking the Kool-Aid and becoming suspicious that people are plotting, other ants are plotting against you. You start Idi Amining everybody.
Dude, that's knocking off the potential competition. Dude, I saw a crocodile for the first time. And I think I maybe have seen one in the Everglades. It was just either
A crocodile or an alligator?
a crocodile.
Ooh, they're scary.
So there are crocodiles in the Everglades. I think that's supposedly the only place that you have it in North America. But there are crocodiles down there. And in certain parts, in this place, Tamarindo, there are actually crocodiles like all over the place, including in the ocean.
Wow.
And like people have gotten bitten by surfers have gotten bitten by crocodiles. And dude, I cannot fucking believe how big these things can get.
Yeah, they're scary.
We saw one, dude. It was like, I was telling Chris, it was like 18 feet long, dude. Picture,
Wow.
and they grow to be bigger than that.
That's a leviathan.
A literal fucking, and dude, girth, a fat fucking, like, this is no alligator, dude.
No.
This is like, because even when Chris and I were in Florida and we're like, how do you know which alligators are going to bite you and which ones don't? And he's like, well, they're just like people. And we're like, are they, dude? Like, some of them are good, some of them are bad. And you got to know which ones. I don't think that applies to crocodiles.
No.
They will eat you, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, they do not. Everything I hear about crocodiles is don't mess with them. I have a crocodile belt that I bought in Australia
Take
when I
that,
was there with my
crocodiles.
buddy, and that was probably 9 years ago.
Well, I didn't know you went to Australia.
Yeah, we did some shows over
What?
there.
Really?
Yeah,
Awesome. Can you tell us about that a little?
yeah,
Sick.
yeah. I think I went. It must have been probably 2014.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like 7 years ago, 7 or 8
Sick.
years ago. My buddy had some time off from work. He was in finance, and they have a mandatory, as some banks do, they have like a mandatory 2-week vacation that they have to take so that the bank can look over their books and make sure that there's no
Oh, interesting.
nefarious
So
trading going
everybody
on.
goes on vacation at the same time.
You have
wow.
as traders, a lot of banks make you. It's your 2-weeker,
And it's in,
when
like,
they
August?
go through your books and they're like, everything adds up.
Wow.
There was
oh,
nothing.
your specific books?
Yeah,
Or
it's
just
their way of
the books?
their book, your trading book.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow. So does that like hang over one's head? Like, are you like worried they're gonna find?
No,
Okay,
no,
cool.
and you like the fact that you have to take this 2-week
Great.
period.
Yeah.
And you can't take it like a week and then another week later. It's like you take 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So I think he had his 2-weeker, and he was like, he just hit me up and was like, I'm thinking of going to Australia. You want to go? I said, yeah, definitely. And then I did what I always do, which is I reached out through Facebook, something we do.
Yes.
And found a couple local comedy shows in Sydney.
Sick.
And got on them, which then allowed me to write the whole trip off as a business expense.
Amazing.
You
And
know?
you tap in. You also just tap into a way better social vibe when you do that.
Yeah,
You're hanging out with local people.
it was great. The
It's so
shows were
sick.
super good.
Amazing. I've heard their crowds are good.
Yeah, they did one that was in this like I don't even know, it's a bar kind of music hall in Sydney, but it's a packed show. It was so fun.
Where else did you go?
Then we went up to Cairns to dive the Great Barrier Reef.
Whoa.
But even then,
scuba dive?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like 7 or 8 years ago, but even then the
Damn,
reef was
dude.
already like in pretty bad shape. We still saw some awesome stuff. Don't get me wrong. And to have said that we did it, I mean, I'd never scuba dived before, only in
Sick.
pools.
Sick.
And so to do that was awesome.
Fuck yeah. Fire.
So we did that, and then we were in Cairns, and then we went to Brisbane for the last couple nights of our trip. We did not go to Melbourne, which I kind of regret, but I'll tell you, man, Sydney,
Sick.
Bondi Beach is like my favorite place in the
Was
world.
it incredible?
The vibe there, it's like this surfers kind of enclave. It's like Malibu, not Malibu. It's like Venice Beach, but much nicer.
Yeah.
Venice Beach meets like I don't even know.
no gorgeous
Amazing
beach.
food, amazing coffee shops, good nightlife. Everyone's
Were you
chilled.
single?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude.
yeah.
I'm just trying to trip like that. That must have been fun.
It was awesome.
Fuck yeah.
And but the reason I brought this up was that we were up in Cairns, and we went to this leather store, and they were selling crocodile leather goods.
Oh, cool.
And I bought a crocodile belt, which I've had for 8 or 9 years. It was the only belt that I really owned for all that time, and I wore it every single day.
Wow.
It's my only belt.
Do you wear belts currently?
Hold on a second. I'm going to grab it.
Do you wear belts?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, of course. This is my crocodile leather belt.
Wow. Very
Real
quickly
crocodile.
accessible. Damn, dude.
You've probably seen this thing.
This is cool. Is this
And
just like...
That's
is it
the
supposed
armor.
to? Is
That's
it supposed
their
to-
armor.
This is literally part of the crocodile.
This is
or they've recreated the
this
design.
is not this is not a no. This is literal crocodile.
Holy
like that's
shit.
what it was taken off of.
That's sick, dude.
And
This is.
I think I had to like sign some kind of permit to bring it back in the United
really?
States. Let me tell you something. I've worn this.
It's fucking sick.
I wear it a little less now because Sierra hates it. But I love it.
It's like a Crocodile Dundee. Put the fucking belt away,
Dude, I've never put any kind of cream on this. I've never treated it. I've never done anything.
beautiful.
It is as strong and unflawed today as the day that I bought it. And that speaks to the strength of crocodile leather,
Unbelievable.
crocodile
dude.
armor, you know?
Crazy.
This is right off the hide. I mean, that's,
I mean, bro, prehistoric animal. That
You
made
show the
it.
camera.
yeah. This
at
is
this
my
fucking thing.
crocodile belt. It's got these, you can see these little ridges here.
Francis is good for like a quarterly good item.
This is one of my,
You know?
I've never bought something that has held up as well as this to its use. There's no fraying. There's
It's in perfect shape.
nothing has come undone.
And I can't get over the strength of the sort of ridges or whatever these are. I feel
It
these
wasn't. It
things.
was probably like $120. It wasn't crazy.
So
you know?
sick. It literally just looks like a crocodile.
Yeah.
This is fucking.
So I rock this all the time, and I think Sierra just thinks it's a little over the top, but it makes me feel armored myself. In fact, I'm going to put it on right now.
Dude, I have these slippers that I wear in the house and there's a cartoon cat sort of like giving the middle finger, which is, I realize, a sort of loud thing for an adult to be wearing, but she really hates them. And, you know, I'm thinking maybe I should maybe get rid of them just for her sake.
You two and the extravagant slippers. I mean, Francis has got you beat.
Oh yeah. Francis with the Gucci dragon slippers.
I got the gooch.
You got the Gooch,
I got
baby.
the goochers. I've been wearing those
You got
again.
the Goochster.
Yeah, one has an alien on it, and the other has a tiger. And somehow they're a pair. Like they came that way. Yeah.
Dude, that's too funny. Question, dude. New Year's resolutions. Do you have any? Have you thought about this at all?
I keep every year I renew one that I've always had. I've had for a couple years, but that always falls apart.
Which
but
one?
it's such a good one that I constantly want to try it again, which is to stretch more.
Oh wow, that's a really good
To
one.
try to get a little more, like, especially hip mobility, hip flexibility. I'm so bad with my hips, and I just know it's going to come to haunt
Yeah.
me later in life. And I just think that, like, the quicker that I start chipping away at trying to become a little bit more flexible, a little bit more mobile, the better my life is going to be
Yeah,
down the road.
yeah, that's a good one.
And so I so badly want to commit to stretching more, but I'll do it for like a couple weeks and then fizzles out.
Yeah, and so in a way where it's like you're doing yoga a couple times a week, or
Yeah,
it's like
I didn't even
10
do
minutes
that.
before you work out type of thing.
It doesn't even, I don't think it needs to be so dramatic. Actually, I think the best time for me is like after workouts.
Yeah,
That's when you're really supposed to stretch. And, you know, just as we're like lying and getting ready to watch TV or chilling, you know, you could watch TV, throw a leg up against a wall and do a hamstring stretch for like, whatever, a couple minutes on each side. Just even something that small.
yeah,
It doesn't need to be a whole crazy thing.
right.
But
Yeah, and there's a good point there, because the whole crazy thing is why people don't stick to their resolutions.
Right.
It typically can be simpler than you are making it.
yeah,
Right?
that's one that I really just every year want to do. And then last year I had another good one, which I was pretty good about for a long time, which was to just call my parents every day and say
Oh
hi.
wow, that's nice.
And see how long I could keep that streak going. And if there were days where I couldn't, then I would text them and just say like, "Hey, thinking of you guys, love you, good night."
That's nice.
Just every day, quick check in. You know, that was sort of my that was a resolution, and I was good about it for a long time. So I give myself a good effort and better efforts on that than the stretching.
Nice.
How about
Solid.
you?
I would like to invest more. I mean, and I was pretty good about it up until the last 3 or 4 months of the year. I just want to get back on the like committing to investing more money.
What are you thinking?
I'd like to sort of build out the conservative side of my portfolio.
ETFs and
a bit
sort
more.
of
Yeah.
SPYs, long-term stuff?
Yeah, a bit. I feel like I kind of have a lot of, higher risk stuff. Nothing crazy, but I'd like to sort of balance it out a bit more. And yeah, last few months just been like kind of expensive for me, and I would like to get back on the train.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy though, as far as like overhaul shit. I don't know. Do you guys have anything, Chris and Ryan?
Yeah, I always I don't know if you guys do this, but at like the end of the year, I always like write a list of goals for myself for that year. Not more of like not as much of like
For
a
the
resolution.
upcoming year, or the
Yeah,
end
so like I want to do this, and this year.
Okay.
And I've been doing that this will be my 4th year now, and it's really cool to like I really sit down for like half hour, an hour, and I write what happened this year, how I felt, and it's really cool to like look back and see where my head was at. So yeah, I have a bunch of stuff. I don't know if I want to talk about it on here, but
Sometimes when
pretty good.
I write
pretty
down
good.
goals, I get disappointed when I don't accomplish them.
Yeah, I agree.
Like having it there feels like a reminder that I didn't get it done.
I feel like
Well, I think that it's there too to remind you that you should do it and that you want to do this thing, that it'll always be there until you get it done. So I think it's kind of important that it's there as well.
I guess some of the goals I set are probably, I don't know if they're unrealistic or not, though. Like, for example, I'll say, like, I want to do a set on The Tonight Show this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that doesn't happen, I'm like, fuck, another year.
But dude, it's
Didn't
all.
get it.
I think the lesson here is that it's kind of whatever works for you. You know what I mean? Like if it doesn't help you to write shit like that down, then you don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're pretty good at it. You're pretty like disciplined and like good at implementing things. It seems like so. Like if it's working for you, keep doing it. I know people love the goals thing, and it can really be helpful. I'm not particularly goal oriented, and sometimes I'm kind of like, is that like an insane thing to say out loud? But I'm really not. Like I'm not like I don't work well in that capacity. I don't know.
I don't like think about them throughout the year. I'm not like, oh, am I working towards this? I just like write these down as things I want to do in the next year, and then I just kind of do my thing and then hope that I
interesting.
achieve them.
Interesting.
Ryan, you got any resolutions or goals or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I'd like to personally improve, but one thing that I can control is just weaning off my phone. I cannot put it down, and it's just getting bad. So I know, like, and especially with the updates that you get with screen time,
Yeah.
that's something that I need to focus on.
Francis is
I'm not
good at
even
that.
next
going to bring
year.
it up. I can't because I'm too sanctimonious about it, and it bothers people, I would imagine.
What that you're.
That I'm always telling people that they need to do that they
Yeah.
need to stop looking at their phones too much, and that everybody knows that I make a real effort not to do that.
Francis is probably the best person at it that I know.
But I get disappointed when I'm high in the numbers. I was at the stand, man. We were hanging out. There were 2 comics, and somehow we were talking about this, and I said, I got my
You're right. Dude.
yeah, I'm good. I got my like update for the week of what my screen time was, and I was like, oh, and someone was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, my screen time was down 13%." And they're like, "Oh, cool." And they were like, "I didn't even know you could do that." And I was like, "Oh yeah, well, you got it on your phone. Like, what's your screen time like?" And they're like, "I don't know. I don't even want to know." I was like, "Well, let's check." This guy, he was averaging 13 hours and 36 minutes of screen time a day.
Wow. How's that even possible?
That's
the whole day.
That's like
The entire day.
90% of your waking hours. You're on your phone.
That's crazy.
At least.
That's really bad.
And he was like, he didn't care at all. I was shocked. I'm mad when I have over 4 hours is in my mind is bad for me. I try anything under 3 hours. I feel good. Anything in the 2s, I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get a day in the 1s, and I'm like, wow, I crushed it. I really crushed it. I wasn't on my phone at all. By the way, if you want a trick for this is the trick. When you wake up, do not go on your phone immediately. If you can wait till like 10 a.m. or 11, do some things first. It starts your day in a way where you're not instantly glomming onto your phone.
Right.
And
It's like smoking your first cig when you wake up.
if
You'll be
you
smoking them all day.
set the tone early in the day, because the biggest problem I have is I wake up, I grab my phone, and I'm in bed looking at my phone. By the time you get out of your bed to take your shower, you're already at an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is, some huge chunk. And then for the rest of the day, you've broken that seal, and it's just phone.
Yeah, 100%.
Find a way to and by the way, I don't have any problem with people using their laptop to,
So, but does that count towards your screen time?
I don't think so.
It doesn't?
I don't think so.
No.
If I open up my laptop and I'm looking at my iMessages on my laptop and responding to text there, I got no problem with that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that.
Well, good luck with all your resolutions. If anybody has any like really unique ones, I'd be curious and interested to hear about it.
Totally. Yeah.
Good luck with everything. It's going to be a big year.
Let's
The
do it.
whole Oops community.
Thank you, everybody, for a wonderful
What a
year with
fucking
us.
great year.
We had a blast, culminating in our incredible live shows that we enjoyed so much. We love you all. Our podcast continues to grow, has grown. This has been a huge year for us, and we owe that to you guys. So seriously, from the bottom of our hearts,
Thank you.
we love you. Happy New Year, everybody, and we can't wait for 2022.